here at HIMSS, and super excited. We got Christine, the CMO, and no better person than you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Happy to see you here again. We met last year
Yes.
at the Changemaker event. And
Yes.
thank you so much for taking time out your busy schedule to talk to Michael and ourselves. We're excited about what's happening here this year, and we'd love to hear from you and tell us
Thank you.
what's next for the future of HIMSS.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for having me, and it's such an honor. We have been hard at work in the last year, really thinking about how we re-envision our
Right.
membership experience. So one of the big things that happened in early January is we relaunched our HIMSS membership program globally. So we're really, really excited about that, bringing in new opportunities for our members, for the HIMSS members to get involved. And one of the ways that obviously Christopher and I met was at the Changemaker luncheon
Right.
last year. And that's where everything comes to life, just getting to know our chapter leaders, the members that are actually making digital health transformation happen, whether it be in Georgia, in our home state,
Right.
or it be in France, Germany, or it could be in South Korea, where we have a really, really large stronghold of HIMSS members and contributors. So super excited. And that's just one of the things that I wanted to share. So
And I just think there's something about the connectivity and where you find this organization. It's one person. It's people to people.
Right.
It's a big event, but just the people from Albie, connecting and making us at home. And then I tell you that first Sunday was amazing with the executive leadership
Exactly.
summit and just those curations. Really, you guys just have this in the everything that's going on. You guys really, the hard work is evident.
Yeah, and I think you see such an electric energy this year. And I've been coming to HIMSS for 20 years, literally.
yes.
And I walked in this year's HIMSS and it felt different.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear
No,
that.
it really did. It felt really different. There's quite honestly a younger demographic I'm seeing more of that's
Yes.
now a part of this. I'm seeing a lot of more innovative companies. The content is very, fresh and interesting. So this energy it's really invigorating because I think at one point in time, folks were saying, well, what's HIMSS going? And obviously we know there are other competitors out there and other conferences.
Yes.
And how is HIMSS reinventing itself? So it's just curious to hear from you on that.
So, thank you for that.
Oh,
And
sure.
I think that the energy is palpable, and it comes from really connecting people to the solutions that they're looking for.
Sure.
It comes from, really proud to share this, we have almost 12,000 professional attendees, on the provider side, clinicians, doctors, nurses that are here making the energy come to life. They're representing the new ideas and so forth that the HIMSS conference really is supposed to be about. It's about substance. It's about
Absolutely.
connecting on a human level. So if I could share a little bit about
please.
2 years ago when I joined the organization, I came from the outside in, and Hal, tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, I'd like for you to reinvigorate our marketing division globally. So I looked at the brand. They already had an incredible brand footprint, but what was missing was the human side of it. So when you come in, you see, this brand experience creating tomorrow's health, but you
Right.
see a clinician saying, I'm creating tomorrow's health. I'm creating healthcare for the future, for better patient outcomes. So you see real people telling their story, and that's what's different, I think, from the experiential side. I would be remiss if I didn't say having Informa as a new partner and having access to their marketing leadership team. Lauren Whittington, Scott Sherpy are incredible partners to me. They're my co-partners in crime, as I like to say. And they've really helped reinvigorate this conference. So they have been just a force multiplier, like what I like to say.
Wonderful.
And they're the ones who are helping bring new experiences to life. And my side, I'm really focused on that membership journey, really making sure the brand stays intact and it's human.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's always been a powerful or superpower for HIMSS is its membership, right?
Yes.
That's what makes
Yes,
us
for sure.
so much more different than
Mhm.
many of the other organizations that are having conferences. They don't extend beyond the conference itself to the other day-to-day activities that are happening at the local chapter level. So
Yes,
maybe you can share with us a little bit more about what's kind of happening there. 'Cause
absolutely.
that's where the day-to-day work is being done.
That's
right?
really, it comes from
Right.
our are very immense and we're obviously proud of it, but it's the immense work
Right.
and effort of our volunteer base, which are our global members, our chapter leaders,
Right.
our chapter contributors. There's an entire marketing and communications group, nationally and globally that lead, that volunteer to
Exactly.
get the word out. So one of the things, so for instance, in the Texas chapter, the Austin group, they're showing up at South by Southwest on Friday. They have
That's
an
huge.
entire group of professionals coming out. They propose different talk tracks and so
Exactly.
forth, speaking tracks, and they're representing HIMSS as chapter leaders from the Austin side. So that's happening on Friday and Saturday, and they're just doing so many interesting things.
Yes.
But I think what's more fascinating to me is when you get a chance to know the chapter leaders and the members. They're the ones who are out in the world. They're practitioners, and they're learning, real time what it takes to lead digital transformation,
Exactly.
what it takes to connect to patient, outcomes, but then to come back to our our suppliers and vendors, and say, Microsoft, how can you help me think about things differently?
Right.
How can you help me as a nurse or a CNIO think about things? And that's where the magic happens.
That's
But
right.
it is hard work, and they're giving up their free time, and they're going out and doing that. So on behalf of HIMSS.
No, absolutely. And some of the associations that you are starting to establish too, organizations like the NFL, for example, and the relationships you're building with these non-traditional types of organizations that healthcare has an impact on
Yes.
them as well too. I don't know if can you share a little bit more about some of those kind of non-traditional relationships?
Yeah, so we are trying to partner. We're always expanding. This year we're going to be starting to look at, and you'll see like with the AMDIS relationship we just announced.
Right.
We do a lot of work with ACHE and
Right.
other organizations. We're really focused on trying to expand the reach and the commitment to the CNIO and
Sure.
CMIO community. I think that is the informatics space is really
Right.
critical, and
Exactly.
they're looking for a home.
Right.
It's not, we care about our CIOs, we care about our CTOs,
Absolutely.
but what we're realizing is that there's a whole new tranche of members or audience,
Stakeholders,
stakeholders,
right.
exactly, and we really need to reach, and that's Hal's vision. Like
Sure.
he, as our CEO, he's really pushing us to bring in those new members,
Right.
but through those new relationships and
That's
alliance
right.
partners. And then we also have new opportunities. There's lots of people that are out there that are interested in health, that are interested because their lives have been touched
Sure.
by cancer or other areas, and they all of a sudden they realize, I might be an entrepreneur in other ways, but I
Right.
really need to focus. If I have the time and money, I should really be focusing on the healthcare space.
That's right.
So we're getting a lot of non-traditional individuals coming into our ecosystem,
That's great.
but there's room for everyone. And I'm, again,
Yes.
Big Tent, we really want to invite everybody in if they have
Right.
the power and the ability to make change happen.
Right.
Yeah, we hear so many different conversations. Like you really are speaking to a lot of different stakeholders. We had a gentleman earlier that's from NYU, a clinician,
Oh, wow.
physician,
Okay.
and he was here just for the startups.
Yes.
And so that's
Yes.
really
Yes.
cool when you hear that.
Yes.
That's driving. He's had great conversations. I mean, he almost was going to tell us the whole list on the show, and it was just fascinating. So that to me,
That all that credit so goes to really our Informa partners and our colleagues. They really worked hard to reinvigorate the startup and what we call Venture Connect. It's called
Right.
now the Emerge Summit.
Sure.
And they did an incredible job this year. It was sold out in terms of participation, but bringing in individuals like that from NYU who are looking for new partners, looking for funding, but also the
Right.
newest ideas.
That's right.
And so again, hats off to them for thinking about the new experience there. And then I'll just say, like from a membership perspective, going back to that. So HIMSS has built up the organization through a lot of really important aspects of advancing digital health transformation. This event became very important. It became a juggernaut. We needed to really reinvigorate it.
Right.
But one of the most important ways we're reinvigorating our promise to our members and our chapters and our
Sure.
global communities is making HIMSS content, making HIMSS solutions and
Right.
services available 365 days a year.
That's right.
So when you walk out of this conference, you will be picking back up with us on Monday morning, wherever
Right.
you are in the world, and you'll be thinking about how you can engage.
That's
so
right. And I think that's really the power of HIMSS.
It is.
Again, unlike a lot of the other associations, you now build upon the activities that took place
yes,
this week.
absolutely.
And we move that agenda through the chapters. and continue to double down on those things that we are learning, exploring, and HIMSS is advocating for going forward. And I think that's amazing. And I have a passion for those of us who are a little longer in the teeth and have been around a while, that are now seeing this younger generation of healthcare leaders and healthcare technology leaders emerge, watching HIMSS really respond to that as well
Yes.
too, and start to cultivate those folks, because I get constantly asked, which is not a bad thing, help me understand how to navigate my career. What are some of the things I need to do? And one of the first things I tell them all the time is, you need to join HIMSS.
Thank you, of course. Yes.
You need to
It's
go
true.
through the certifications, get those certifications.
Yeah.
There's power behind those things that HIMSS has built to create credibility for you in your professional journey. So curious about your thoughts around this next wave of healthcare professionals and what HIMSS is thinking about.
Thank you. So I couldn't agree with you more. So we've really worked hard, and especially again coming in and looking at this incredible footprint, but how are we really inviting the next generation in? So I've focused on our storytelling, reaching them, which I call their social digital channels,
Sure.
making sure our voice is on point, but not just for the current, stakeholders, but the future generation of stakeholders. There won't be, there's not a future, especially in a member-driven society,
That's right.
global society, without students that are studying now to become public health, getting their master's in public health
That's
or
right.
population health. They're thinking about, I want to be a doctor, so how do I actually learn about future technology or current technology?
Exactly.
So we've done a lot of reinvigorating the relationship, but also presenting to them the value proposition. So
I love the evangelistic community development aspect that you really are championing through storytelling. I'm at the press event last night. I meet a doctor.
yes,
She's not only a doctor,
Right.
because it's like fascinating. She has her own company. She's really involved with health equity, access in the Los
Yes.
Angeles area. And guess what she has with her? Like 7 other fellows,
Right.
students, or
Yes.
whatnot. And that was
Yes.
not by design. I
Right.
imagine you guys have wrapped that in as part of your ambassador. Like, can
Yes.
you tell a little bit about that?
so we've really reached out. So we've worked really hard to invite students here, and again, at a really really smaller cost to,
Yeah.
to access the content
Right.
here. We see them as contributors to the livelihood of our futures, right?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
they're the ones who are thinking. They're the ones who are also digital native.
Yeah.
That's right.
They are digital native, and
Yes,
we
they
need
are.
to take advantage of them, and we need to give
Exactly.
them a space and a home.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you enjoyed
Yeah.
that, and that represents the entire, what I like to say, the entire stakeholder ecosystem.
Okay.
So starting with those of us who are now in an advisory capacity, here's
Right.
what we've learned,
Right.
like the 3 of us,
That's right.
or like, my CEO of, here's what I've seen in the last 20 years, but also bringing all those the newer talent, the newer solution creators.
That's right.
They're the agile thinkers.
Yeah.
They've been trained. They're very fast paced. So they're here. Obviously, it's because we've reached out to them, and we also want them as new members. So one of the things that's happened, especially again, having Informa involved, they helped us rethink how we bring
Right.
individuals in through their own marketing.
Yeah.
We're using persona-driven marketing. Not a big surprise.
Sure.
Yeah.
Matching up the need
That's
with
right.
the message and the invitation.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so we have almost 2,000 new members
Right.
that
Wow.
signed up to come to the conference, but
That's
also are joining us. So that's fresh opportunity to, again, get the newer generation. A lot of them are early career talent that are coming in.
Right.
The last thing that Christopher, is that we have a really strong professional development organization within the HIMSS Society.
That's
So
right.
we do certifications. We have an AI certification. We have obviously digital transformation certification, advanced, programming that is just for individuals who are seeking, growth opportunities. So that's how we're getting people to come back.
Yeah.
They're getting their certification. So I'm learning.
I have a question, and I don't know if you would consider it controversial or not, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
HIMSS has always been on the forefront of health equity and driving that initiative. You literally helped launch a Health Equity Week, that really talk about these challenges. And, we're seeing politically, some of the, what I call political determinants of health
Okay.
that are impacting healthcare. I'm
Yes.
just curious what HIMSS's position has been, is today, and what it will be as we think about these issues around health equity and making sure that we're providing care for all individuals.
Yes, absolutely. So in our mission
Right.
and our vision statement,
Right.
we are focused on health equity for all. We're focused on that. We are
Right.
not changing our position on that. We are an NGO technically. We're a
Sure.
nonprofit, and
Right.
we are not a government,
Right.
organization. However, we serve many partners. We're serving the veterans
Absolutely.
community.
That's right. I mean,
Our-
you are a resource for the government,
Yes.
for legislative, providing legislative thought leadership as well. too.
Absolutely. Tom Leary and his team, which I know you know Tom really well, they're doing a lot of work. They've been working extremely hard over the last several months to prepare for everything. But, we're taking a wait and see approach. We're
Sure.
trying to figure out, what's coming out of Washington. We want to be really thoughtful about how we support,
Right.
individuals and how we support, the government and our work. We're very much focused on health equity for all, though we're not changing our stance. As
Well,
governments
applaud you.
change, though, and as organizations, we've got to shift and have to understand how to
Sure.
partner without making judgments and so forth. And
Absolutely.
I think, but we are deeply committed to continuing on our mission and our, following through on our commitments.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
That's great.
very passionate about that, and that is straight from my CEO.
Wonderful. Well, we
So
applaud you.
yeah.
Thank,
Thank
you
you.
so much for
Oh
coming
my,
up.
thank you for having
Yeah.
me. It was such
Thank
it
you.
was so good to
Good
see
to see
you.
you again as well.
Yeah, it was
too.
such a pleasure, and thanks for the great questions.
Thank you for supporting us and what
Yeah,
we do as
yeah.
well.
Well, we're here for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So
All right.
thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.